I'm joined by Congressman Eric Swalwell, who just released a new ad. It's incredible. It shreds Donald Trump. Let's play it, and then I got to get your reaction to it, Congressman. Let's play it.
I love you. Have a great day at school.
Dictator on day one.
There will have to be some form of punishment for women.
Roe versus Wade was terminated. Fire, fury, bloodbath. Now get in.
You know what, honey? I'm going to drive you today.
Besides, can convicted felons even drive school buses?
If you wouldn't trust him with your kid, why would you trust him with your country?
Congressman, tell us about the ad.
It's back to school season right now, and the message is as basic as, look, we're asking ourselves right now who should lead our country. And if that guy pulls up in the school bus and you look at him and are like, my kid's not getting on that bus, then we should probably be asking ourselves, why would we want him to have access to the nuclear codes or make decisions about our kids' future? So we're trying to have, a little bit of fun in our storytelling as we set the stakes. And in this ad, I worked with writer-director David Gray, and it was composed by one of my favorite composers, Snuffy Walden, who did the West Wing theme. And Snuffy had to go from basically, here comes the sun in the very beginning of the ad, to Jaws as you do the reveal with Trump, but really just trying to be more gut check-like with our messaging. Because I think too often Democrats are trying to win a Harvard Law School moot court competition when this is really just a gut check, at the neighborhood bar, and we need to win the gut check.
So I had George Conway on the show recently, and he said, Donald Trump is the exact type of person who you teach your children not to be. He said every single one of those qualities, if you saw them being exhibited by your child, you would have real issues there. And it really resonated with me. So when I saw that as well, it really stood out.
And so much of this, and George is right, is just basic. If we wouldn't raise our kids to be that way, why would we elect somebody who acts that way every single day? Actually, earlier today, I was talking to a college senior, and she told me something that was really interesting when she was telling me her concerns about Donald Trump. And they were many of the concerns that we have all had over the years. But she said something that I had never heard anyone say, and I've never articulated, but I think is right. She said, I don't think he's going to fight for people like me. I think he's only going to fight for himself. And again, at the end of the day, when young people are looking at who are the options for leaders, they want to know, if you're stepping up into public service, the expectation is you're going to fight for more than just yourself. And, to see that, again, maybe we're just missing how basic of a, response that he's bringing out of people. And we should really tap into that more.
Right. Other than the way your Republican colleagues in the House and some in the Senate behave, any individual acted the way Donald Trump acts, whether it's a large corporation, medium size, small, nonprofit, social gathering, whether it's your fantasy football league, I think you'd be like, hey, this is really weird and creepy. Can we get this guy out of here? So why in the United States of America do you have someone behaving that way? And then we get gaslighted or gaslit by the corporate media to act like this is somehow normal. It's why I loved your ad. I'm like, this isn't normal. This isn't normal.
Look, Ben, I almost got kicked out of my fantasy football league because I got a little busy one week and I started a player who was on a bye. So if you acted like, this guy acted, your ass would be thrown out of most fantasy football leagues in America. And not just that, if I called you and I was like, hey, Ben, buddy, I've known you for 20 years and I know you have a growing company and I was hoping that you would hire a friend of mine in need, you would be like, yeah, sure. What is your friend, what are his qualifications? And I said, well, Ben, he's a convicted felon, but it's only 34 felonies, and he's a rapist. But but I think you may be able to help him out. He's only been bankrupt 6 times. And Ben, I should tell you, because it'll probably come out, the last office from which he was fired, he sent his friends to violently storm it. If I told that to like any friend, as people always call and say, hey, can you consider hiring somebody? They would look at you and say, like, are you crazy? Like, no one's hiring this guy. So like, why are we going to hire him? And so again, it's just so basic. And I think we're best when we're basic in our messaging.
So then I go to you. All right, Eric, Congress member, look, we're friends. I'll take the phone call. Thanks, Ben. So I take the phone call, and then he goes, have you seen Kamala? She's on the cover of Time magazine. I go, hang up. I mean, look, the speech earlier in the day, he's whining that Vice President Kamala Harris is on the cover of Time magazine. Here, play this clip, Jeremy.
And then they decided to get politically correct. We have to put her in. They put her in, and now they're putting her on the covers of Time magazine with an artist sketch. They don't use a picture. They don't use a picture. They use an artist sketch. I want to use that artist. I want to find that artist. I like him very much.
So play it out with me, Congressman. So he does that, and then I hang up, and then I go, Congressman, this guy. You go, Ben, just give him. You say, Ben, give him one more call. I say, Eric, I'll give him one more call, and then this is what he says to me. Here, play this clip.
And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah. Not getting hired is how this would go down on any phone call like that in America.
The Republicans behave like that too now. Like, I find it so interesting, right? You have JD Vance right now out there accusing Democrats of engaging in name calling and schoolyard bullying. And he says this needs to stop. Seriously? What's your take on that? I mean, the behavior of the Republican colleagues in any type of company would be immediately result in termination on day one.
Yeah, and also my prediction to you, Ben, is we can do them a favor. Republicans are not worthy of a favor. They're not going to throw him out themselves, but we will be doing many of them a favor by beating and burying this movement once and for all in November. And I promise you that once he's gone, you may see other efforts to mimic him and parrot him and be him, but anyone else is going to be received as a cover band. They're not going to be able to convene and stoke grievances the same way Donald Trump has. And so this is our best shot at just taking Trump to the trash. And then the Republicans, they're going to have to go through their own, rebuilding, rediscovery, reset. That's not our problem, but we'll be doing them a favor by beating this guy in November.
What do you make of all of this JD Vance stuff? Just have you seen him in the halls of Congress? Did you hear the rumblings of this before? Are you hearing from any of the Republicans how embarrassing this guy is? Give us some insight here that we don't hear anywhere else on the MeidasTouch.
Well, I know a lot of people who went to law school with him, and what I've heard is his name wasn't JD Vance in law school. Like, this has been a complete transformation. His name wasn't JD Vance. He didn't act the way that he acted, and it's frankly a disgrace that he would say so many things privately to his friends throughout the years and very publicly about Donald Trump, and just in the pursuit of power he would attach himself to Donald Trump just so he could be more powerful, have more access. It's really quite revealing, and it's going to be not just revealing. In about 80 days, it's going to be rejected.
Here he is. This was Wednesday night. He went on Laura Ingraham, and he said that it's just not normal for women to care about their reproductive rights. Normal women aren't caring about this. Here, let's play this clip.
Senator, one of my dear friends tonight said to me, well, all these suburban women, all they care about is abortion, and they don't understand that decision is with the states now. It's not banned nationally, even if some people want it to be banned nationally. It's with the states. What do you say to suburban women out there who are marinating in this propaganda?
Well, first of all, I don't buy that, Laura. I think most suburban women care about the normal things that most Americans care about.
And then earlier in the day, Congressman, audio leaked of him saying in 2020 that the role of having a grandmother help raise children is the entire purpose of the post-menopausal female. These are the statements that this guy is making over and over again.
What a weirdo. I mean, why does he think about this stuff so much? Like, it is quite creepy and weird. And it's just not the mainstream. And as Tim Walz, so plainly says, just mind your own damn business. Like, why are you worried about this stuff? No one's coming to you and saying, hey, you should spend more time thinking about what my family does at the kitchen table or what we do in the bedroom. No one's asking for that. And so it's just weird that he would obsess over it.
You and I have been talking about this now for over 3 years, and it's interesting that now the mainstream theme is how weird and odd and strange it is, and it's really caught on. But I remember interviews you and I did literally back in 2000, 2001, where we were saying this stuff's just freaking strange. This is some weird stuff. So tell us,
we did the interview, if you remember, about I made the bathroom ad where we had like a creepy dude walking up to a girl's locker room as they were passing this legislation that would create like an on-demand gender check. And we called it at the time, this is about a year and a half ago, we called it creepy. So yeah, they've always been creeps. And thankfully now, they're more widely being called out for it.
Momentum right now as we're in this kind of mid-August time period. We're approaching the Democratic National Convention. What's kind of your final thoughts in this interview to all the Meidas Mighty out there watching it? These videos now get millions and millions of views. What's your message to the people watching this?
We can win. We've got work to do, but we can win. And we shouldn't just assume that, because we're starting to lead in the polls, that it's going to hold. Donald Trump is going to, regress to his worst instincts. And you're going to see the dirtiest campaign that's ever been run against somebody run against Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as he gets more and more desperate. But what should motivate us, not just that we can win and not just that Kamala Harris is the future, but we can take Trump to the trash. And for too long, I think we've thought that we're always going to have to deal with this. But the truth is we've had MAGA idiots and violence for so long now that we may think it's going to be around forever, but we're wrong. It won't be. Donald Trump has had this evil charisma that no one else on their side has. And he's had a 14-year political ad called The Apprentice that helped him build his following. And no Republican in our lifetime is ever going to have that again. So if we defeat Trump in November, we will have finally extinguished this madness forever. Because you can't just be an asshole and ride to be the GOP nominee. Just ask Ron DeSantis. So let's do this. About 80 days to go. We can win this for the kids, for the future.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, now a professional ad maker and a member of Congress. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ben.
Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Let's get there this month. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.